Hey, this is Alan Curtis Meisner, otherwise known as the Dragonmancer, and of course this is the lair of the Dragonmancer. Now, many of you will be familiar with Peter the Apostle. Peter the Apostle, otherwise known as Saint Peter, dear to many. The Catholics teach that he is the first pope, which, to some extent, that makes perfect sense when you take into consideration that he was the chief apostle during the time of the ministry after the ascension of Christ into heaven. And yes, like I said, he was the chief apostle. Perhaps one of the most noteworthy stories that, when you really think about it, that took place in the life of Peter would have to be that day when he, along with the other disciples, the apostles, were noticing that Christ was walking on water. All of them were afraid. Christ says, "Relax, it's just me." And Peter is the one who says, "Lord, if it's you, have me come up to you." And the Lord could have said to him, "Peter, you're imperfect, you could never be like me." But he doesn't say that. Instead, he says to Peter, "Come." So a principle that you can learn from this moment is that when Christ says, "Come," he will not tell you something that you cannot do. When he says, for instance, "Be perfect," he's giving you a command. But moving on to the story. See, basically, part of the proof that it's possible is the fact that Peter does step on the water. And as long as he had his eyes on Christ, as long as he had his eyes on Christ, that's when he was able to, like Christ, walk on water. And the worst thing that could happen is that maybe the sea spray would get into his blow about his robes and his hair. And but other than that, he was able to walk on water. It was only once he looked down towards the sea that he began to sink. Now, oftentimes we are like Peter, that we want to be like Christ, or we have goals and ambitions and even desires. But instead of keeping our eye on the prize, we end up looking down at our own inadequacies, our own thoughts of we cannot do this, and we end up sinking in despair. But when you really think about it, if only we could learn the lesson of Peter, not looking and learn from the mistake that Peter made of looking down. Then, instead of looking down, we could keep our eyes on the prize. It's like what my drill sergeant once said, and I pass this along to many people to this day. A soldier never looks down, but always forward to their objective. And that's my lesson today. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.